the Cleveland Browns could be heading for an even more dramatic offseason than anyone expected. In a stunning development, defensive end Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade, shaking up the franchise and leaving fans in shock. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me today more than ever, Garrett shared in a heartfelt statement. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fanbase of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man I am today. The former number 1 pick continued, expressing his hunger for success at the highest level. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton, it has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Garrett, 29, has been a dominant force since entering the league in 2017. With 102.5 career sacks, he trails only T.J. Watt, 108, in that span. A 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, and the reigning 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Garrett's resume is undeniable. Yet, the Browns' 3-14 finish in 2024 was a massive disappointment, especially after making the playoffs the previous year. Garrett himself admitted the season felt worse than his rookie campaign, when Cleveland finished a winless 0-16. It's probably a more disappointing season because of what we expected out of ourselves, Garrett said following the Browns' season-ending 35-10 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Back in December, Garrett made his stance clear: he didn't want to waste his prime years in a rebuild. "I'm not trying to rebuild," he stated. "I'm trying to win right now. And I want that to be apparent when the season is over and we have those discussions. I want them to be able to illustrate that for me so that can be something I can see in the near future. Because that's all we want to do." However, Cleveland is now facing a wave of uncertainty. The status of quarterback Deshaun Watson remains unclear after suffering another torn Achilles and undergoing a second surgery in January. Garrett's trade request immediately makes him the most coveted defensive player on the market. While Khalil Mack is one of the top pass-rushing free agents available, the 34-year-old veteran doesn't have the same long-term upside as Garrett. General Manager Andrew Berry is now in an unenviable position. Just last week, he assured reporters that the Browns had no intention of moving Garrett, even if offered 2 first-round draft picks. "Correct," Berry confirmed. "You can put that on the record." According to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo, Cleveland remains committed to keeping Garrett despite his trade request. Financially, moving him before June 1 would saddle the franchise with a massive $36.2 million dead cap hit. Garrett still has 2 years remaining on his 5-year, $125 million contract extension signed in 2020. His salary cap hits stand at $19.7 million in 2025 and $20.4 million in 2026, with a $5 million roster bonus due on March 16. Berry has remained tight-lipped about any ongoing discussions, but made it clear the Browns hope to keep their superstar for the long haul. "I don't want to go into contract discussions. I wouldn't do that publicly," Berry said. "But I think you can assume that we do anticipate at some point doing a third contract with Myles. We want him to retire here." As the offseason unfolds, all eyes will be on Cleveland to see if they can convince Garrett to stay, or if one of the NFL's premier pass rushers will be suiting up in a new uniform next season.